If I could pick 25 exercises to build a complete physique, these are the ones.
I don't agree with probably half of it. Today I'm reacting to Jeff Nippard's The Only 25 Exercises You Need. My name is Dave. I own one of the largest personal training companies in the entire world, and I'm here to help you get sustainably shredded without falling for fitness hype.
Out of the hundreds, if not thousands of exercises that I've done in my life, these are the best of the best. And here's the crazy part. To keep things interesting, I'm gonna try to set a new personal record on all 25 exercises.
So I like Jeff Nippard. Curious what he's gonna say, and I'm wondering if I'm gonna debate him or not. With this, I'm only going through the top 10. I think the top 10 is very serious, and that's something that we can dissect, analyze, and either debate or agree with. So let's watch the top 10.
Now we're into my top 10 exercises of all time. So up to here, the list was kind of a mix of some personal hypertrophy favorites and some basic fundamentals. My top 10 exercises are the 10 exercises I think you should do if you can only do 10. So if someone says, I can only do 10 exercises, which 10 should I do? These are the 10. All right, coming in at the number 10 spot, I've got the seated leg curl. The hamstrings make up about 40% of your thigh mass, and they're a lot more important for reducing knee pain and promoting knee joint health.
So I don't know if he's gonna do a compound movement. Single joint movements like this, where you only move in your knees, those are good, but it's not really so much that is that functional. Your hamstrings do both knee flexion as well as hip extension. I generally wouldn't put any sort of unilateral movement in a top 10.
Training them directly is huge. Also, this 12-week training study found about 50% more hamstrings growth with seated leg curls than lying leg curls. Now, if you don't have a seated leg curl machine, lying leg curls definitely still get the job done.
So if you actually flex your hips and lean forward in this movement, you get much more of a bigger stretch. You actually get more stimulus and more hypertrophy from that than sitting back like that.
Or you can do Nordic ham curls.
No shot.
Okay, number 9. The leg extension. This one is ranked so highly because it really is the easiest, most accessible way to isolate your quads. And contrary to popular belief, some recent anatomy research suggests that the quads are the biggest muscle in the human body, bigger than the glutes or the lats. They deserve some special attention. Now, sure, you could do reverse Nordics or sissy squats, and I think they're both great options, but a lot of trainees do find them awkward, less stable, and trickier to overload than the tried and true leg extension.
Also, another single joint movement, I prefer a compound movement, so I prefer feet together, a split machine squat, or a goblet squat, something like that. Top 10, again, I'm a little iffy on it.
Which most gyms are gonna have. If you set the seat back, you can smash the big, long rectus femoris head of the quads better than any compound exercise, including squats, and I've been doing leg extensions twice a week for more than a decade. Plus, research shows they're perfectly safe for your knees. Just make sure you warm up and don't use weights that you can't move with good form.
Woo! 9. That's a 2-rep PR, nice.
The number 8 spot, I've got the overhead cable triceps extension. This may seem like a high ranking for a triceps isolation exercise, but I have good reason for it. First of all, unlike dips or the bench press, you can get a huge tricep stimulus here without taxing your chest, delts, or core. And research from Mayo and colleagues showed that when compared to press downs, overhead extensions caused about 40% more overall triceps growth.
You get a lot more of a stretch from this when you're upright compared to tricep push downs. So yeah, it goes back to full range of motion, getting a stretch, contract through that stretch. That would get more growth and more stimulus than a tricep push down. Another single joint, I would prefer a pressing mechanic that does have triceps. Triceps do elbow extension. I'm also iffy on this.
Across 12 weeks. That probably has something to do with the fact that the long head of the triceps will be more lengthened in that overhead position.
Okay.
Number 7 is the preacher curl. Most guys want bigger biceps. They're a legit show muscle. And if I had to pick just one biceps exercise these days, this would be it. They're easier to do and harder to mess up than the Bayesian curl.
Preacher curls are cool because it actually forces a full stretch against that pad.
Even though there isn't as much of a stretch on the biceps at the beginning, because of the angle of the bench, you get super high tension from the very start, where the biceps will still be quite lengthened. And then because you're braced and locked in against the bench, it's virtually impossible to cheat. If you're getting stronger in the 6 to 12 rep range on the preacher curl over time, your biceps, brachialis, and brachioradialis are getting bigger. No question.
Close, so close.
Number 6, here we go. The lateral raise. The side delts might be the single most important muscle from a bodybuilding aesthetic standpoint, because from the front and from the rear, they create that broad-shouldered X-frame appearance. And while they will get worked on presses, they can take a backseat to the front delts. So I think isolating them is crucial. You can do that with dumbbells, machines, or cables, Research suggests that
it's another single joint. I don't hate it because he is right. Your side delts can get a back seat. Delts essentially do shoulder abduction, basically coming out this way. If I had only 10 workouts to do, I'd probably stick to purely compound, but I get his reasoning and it makes sense.
they all seem to work similarly well. I personally prefer cables though, specifically with a high handle position because it'll provide more tension on the delts while they're in a more lengthened position. Also, with cables, you get this nice, even, smooth tension throughout the range of motion, which I find helps me connect with my side delts better than dumbbells. Either way, as long as you're pushing them hard, you're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck out of lateral raises.
Hey, let's go.
Okay, let's get into the top 5. Again, if you can only do 5 exercises across your entire lifting career, these are the 5 I'm picking. And I've hit this many PRs in the video so far. I've only got 5 exercises left. Hopefully I'll hit at least one more. All right, coming in at the number 5 spot, I've got the chest-supported T-bar row. I think any horizontal row could be
Thank God, finally compound movement. Yes, I like this.
inserted here, but this is my personal favorite for the mid-back because your chest is braced, so your lower back won't be a limiting factor. The chest support also prevents cheating, so if you're adding a little weight over time for the same reps with the same form, rest assured your back is growing. Doing these as Kelso shrugs are also great, especially as you get more advanced, but I think when you're starting out, get strong on some.
So I do like these. Some people do cheat. They actually extend their lower back. They come upright, chest off the bench, and they kind of overcompensate. If you are doing this, try to keep your lower back flat. You get that movement through your thoracic spine, basically your shoulders and your mid back, not your lower back. I like this choice.
Good old T-bar rows first, then you can start playing around with Kelsos. If you don't have a T-bar, any chest-supported row machine will work fine, or you can use dumbbells against an inclined bench. Row with your elbows at a roughly 45-degree angle, and you'll get a nice mix of mid-traps, rhomboids, lats, and rear delts.
I think that was 9.
Let's go. Okay, in the number 4 spot, I'm going with the Romanian deadlift. I think every training program needs a hinge-based exercise where you basically bend forward on the negative.
These hit your hamstrings just as much. Your hamstrings do both knee flexion as well as hip extension. So as you can see with the Romanian deadlift, you hit both of those at the exact same time. So this is much more efficient. You're also getting your glutes, also getting your back as well.
And then extend your hips on the positive. That can be a conventional deadlift, 45-degree back extension, good morning, and so on. But I really like the Romanian deadlift the best. I prefer it over the conventional deadlift because it's much less fatiguing for the same or perhaps even greater stimulus on your glutes, hamstrings, and spinal erectors. I prefer it over the 45-degree back extension because it's a lot easier to overload. And I prefer it over the good morning because it's easier to learn and feels smoother. Regardless,
Fully agree. It's great advice.
if you don't have a basic hip hinge movement in your program that you're gradually getting stronger on, you're definitely leaving some gains on the table.
Okay, I'm gonna go there. That's 8.
Okay, in third place, my number 3 exercise of all time, I'm going with the incline bench press. This is my go-to pressing movement because it gives you the best of a vertical press and a horizontal press with just one exercise. You get the delt activation of a shoulder press with the pec activation of a flat bench press. In fact,
Cool thing with this too, you can also adjust your elbows, flare them out a little bit, get more of a stretch in your upper chest. You can adjust your hands quite a bit. There's a lot of variations you can do. But one thing I've seen with a lot of clients or a lot of people out there, like I said, I've trained thousands of people, they'll bring it down to their chest and press straight up. When in reality, you want to bring it down and press up over your nose. So as you do that, you want to keep your thoracic spine extended. So keep your shoulders down and back. Get a big chest the entire time. It's a great stimulus. This is actually a really good workout. I like that as top 3.
some research shows that you get more upper pec growth with the incline press without sacrificing any gains in the mid or lower pecs. All you need is an adjustable bench, a rack, and a barbell. I've been doing these on the Smith machine lately, and just adding a little weight each week in the 6 to 8 rep range. Most studies use around a 45-degree incline, but anything in the 20 to 45-degree incline zone will work great. Just find an angle that feels good for you, stick to it, and get gradually stronger at that incline before switching it up. You can do a swap for dumbbells or a machine. As long as you're pushing hard, you'll see similar gains.
Okay, let's rock it. Yeah, not today. After doing dips and like other presses, I just don't have it in me right now.
In second place, my number 2 exercise of all time, I'm going with the pull-up. Over the last year, I've built my way up to body weight plus 75 pounds for 6 clean reps on pull-ups, and I truly believe my back is looking the best it ever has. That's obviously just my N=1 anecdote, so it isn't worth a whole lot, but I do think that if I was doing pull-downs instead of pull-ups, I'd be a lot less diligent and motivated to actually progressively overload. I actually get super motivated when I hit a new pull-up PR, but
I think I'm the opposite. I get more motivated seeing more weight on the rack for lat pull down.
I'm not gonna lie, I really couldn't care less about a PR on a lat pull down. That said, as long as you are progressively overloading, I think pull downs or pull ups are both great options here. I personally do both, but I will say, pull ups have a few upsides. You can't really fake a pull up. You can either do it or you can't. You can fake a lat pull down though. Pull ups also are more accessible than pull downs. All you need is a bar to hang from and your own body weight. And if you can't do a full body weight pull up yet, there's absolutely no shame in starting with assistance. Most people will need to. And then once you can hit 8 to 10 clean body weight pull ups, use a belt to start adding some weight.
All right, I'm gonna count that as 7. That's pretty ugly, but.
And in case you missed it, last year, I updated my back tier list to put pull-ups in S tier alongside pull-downs. I think they're both amazing. Okay, and here is my number 1 exercise. This means if you said to me, I only have time to do one exercise, which one should I do? What I would tell you is that you should do a squat. MRI research shows that more than half of your body's muscle mass is in your legs, roughly 55% in men and 58% in women. So simply based on muscle mass distribution, I think the number 1 exercise should be a lower body one. That said, squats will build up back strength and total body power too. There's a reason why powerlifters always notice that if they get stronger on the squat, their deadlift goes up too, even if they aren't deadlifting. But the same doesn't work in reverse. As I see it, the squat is the king of all exercises. I don't think there's one best way to squat though, at least not for muscle growth. I like the pendulum squat the best at the moment, but Smith machine squats, hack squats, Bulgarian split squats, they're all so good.
I love how he's doing not a Smith machine squat, but a Smith machine lunge. That's not actually a squat. I would agree with him. Back squats are really good. If you want to get really spicy, even doing like a clean, not a power clean or a hang clean or hang power clean, but like a full blown clean where you bring the bar up, it explode, catch in the hole. If you can do that, it's probably the best movement you can do. If you want to call it like a clean and jerk, that'd even be even better. For bodybuilding and for 99% of the population, squats are probably the best one. I would agree with him on that.
Get high tension in that deep squat position where the quads and the glutes are both stretched and need to fire the hardest. They're super conducive to progressive overload, as long as you're tracking. They get you massive gym cred. No, it's not a perfect exercise. I don't think any exercise is on its own. It doesn't hit the hamstrings well, for example, and it doesn't hit the rectus femoris head of the quads as well as the leg extensions do. But those gaps are really easy to fill. And I don't know, even if all you did was squat week in and week out, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that you would build a very impressive set of wheels.
Okay. You know what? My all-time PR on the squat is 500 pounds, and I did that at Canadian Nationals when I was powerlifting, and I know my limits on this exercise, so I think I'm gonna leave it there. No PR on this one either.
If you try PR in 25 workouts, you're gonna gas out. So the fact that you got 17, that's crazy. That's really good.
That was a lot of fun though.
All right, so I would give this top 10. The top 25, you can watch the whole video if you want. I don't agree with probably half of it. Top 10, I'd probably give that a B, B+. If I only had 10 workouts to do, I wouldn't really do any sort of single joint movements. I maybe would do lateral raise. It's the only one I could probably argue. I would take out these, preacher curls. I would take out the overhead tricep extension. I'd add a shoulder press. I'd add a cedar row. I'd add probably a pullover. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.